What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Whatyousaykay or whatever, and I'm back. Follow me on Instagram, Whatyousaykay, and subscribe to my YouTube, and let's get into the trending topic or whatever. Today, trending topic is about Brittney Griner, a star WNBA player that is in prison in Russia, and it just made the news that she has been sentenced to 9 years in prison in Russia just because she was accused of having vape, which contained hashish oil. Put out an article today. WNBA star Brittney Griner, who has been detained in Russia for over 5 months, was guilty on drug charges in Moscow area court Thursday. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison. The judge found that Griner had criminal intent and said she was guilty of smuggling and storing illegal drugs. Griner, a 31-year-old Houston native who plays professional basketball for Phoenix Mercury, was detained on February 17th at the international airport as she returned to Russia to play during the WNBA's offseason after she was accused of having vape cartridges containing hashish oil, which is illegal in the country.
The judge has found Brittney Griner guilty of packing cannabis and boarding an airplane or trying to board an airplane in Russia. I do believe we have some translation from Russian to English. Just drop on there and see if we can hear this.
Союза гражданских газет путем прохождения пункта пропуска сезонный коридор в зоне таможенного контроля Шереметьевской таможенной ПТС России, не осуществив при этом таможенного декларирования товаров в письменной форме, тем самым нарушим статью 28 Федерального закона Российской Федерации о наркотических средствах и психотропных веществах от 8 января 1998 года номер 3 ФЗ.
So we don't have the English translation, but in the last hour, Griner addressed the court, issued a long apology, said that Russia started to feel like home to her, and apologized to everybody. She's 31 years old, could face 10 years in jail, and we'll see whether or not there's any leniency on behalf of the judge as we wait on that. Dan Hoffman joined the conversation. You lived in Moscow. What have you observed on this trial as you have watched it?
Well, look, there's no rule of law in Russia, and it's pretty farcical, but it's also a necessary precursor before any sort of a swap could take place. The Russians need to keep up this idea that there's some reciprocity here. You know, Victor Bout is the merchant of death. He supplied weapons to the FARC, knowing full well that they would commit atrocities against U.S. officials and civilians. There's absolutely no reciprocity, but that's what Vladimir Putin wants his own population and the world to believe. So that's why she was convicted. It remains to be seen whether her lawyer will appeal this, but it's the necessary step before this sort of asymmetric, dirty deal gets done in order to save the lives of our citizens, Paul Whelan and Brittney Griner.
Well, we'll see when that happens. Dana, go ahead and jump in.
Well, I just have a question. Dan, what happened to the possible prisoner swap idea?
It's still absolutely in play, but before it can happen, the Russian government is going to demand that Brittney Griner be convicted so that they can say that she was guilty of this alleged crime. And that's, again, the necessary precursor to make it appear as if these two legal cases are on a par with one another when we know that nothing could be farther from the truth, frankly.
So
but it's very typical Russian Potemkin village kind of behavior.
She goes to jail, and then the negotiations begin. That's what you're saying, right, Dan? What do you think about a swap with Victor Bout?
Well, I think that we don't really have much of another option. You know, it's either allow our U.S. citizens to languish in jail, get sick, perhaps even worse, or make this asymmetric, dirty deal. And I think sometimes you just have to kind of swallow hard and do this. It's the very nature of having to deal with a rogue dictatorship like Vladimir Putin's Russia.
Like Brittney, I'm going to say my opinion. I try to stray away my opinion when I deliver the news, but she has a wife, beautiful family, star WNBA.